Hi guys, Daniel here. Today I want to show you how to use a new feature in CUCM called self-provisioning. With the self-provisioning feature, you can, like the name is saying, provision your phone without any problem and fully automatically. And you just have to deploy the new phone, do a network cable on it, and type in the number you want, and it works. And now I want to show you how it works. You can configure this function in the LDAP directory. So go to System, LDAP directory, and just open your configured directory. In this case, my directory called LDAP. This is the old stuff, it doesn't change. And here you can define which group information, which access control group should the new user get. So you can say, okay, my new user should have these 4 groups. Basically, every user by default should have these 4 groups. So you just say, okay, these 4 groups, save it, and all new imported LDAP users will get these groups, and you don't have to deploy it manually to all the users. Next option, and the main option, is the feature group. The feature group template. In my case, it's the default feature group template. In the template, you configure that it's the home cluster for the user, that the user is presence enabled, that the user is mobility enabled. I can show it to you. You see it here in the user phone add section, feature group template. There is only one feature group template in my case, so take a little longer to load. Don't know why it's so long, but anyway. In the meanwhile, I can load the user profile next, so to save time. So because in the feature group template, you see the user profile configured, and in the user profile you see what kind of configuration for the line, what configuration for the desk phone should be used, and so on. So at first, the feature group template just configured the configuration for the home cluster, the default option, the default configuration for the user. Basically, when I deploy a new system, normally every user that's in the system use Java, so I have to enable user for unified CM and IAM presence. Also, I have to deploy the service profile, the user profile, and the stuff that you configure all the time will be configured here in the feature group template. So you see here the user profile, the standard user profile in my case. There is configured the configuration for what kind of configuration for the desk phone when I use. Maybe how should the description look like? I can open it for you. How should the line configuration configured, and so on. So all the stuff for all configurations for the desk phone, for the line will be configured here. I will show it for you on the universal line template. Just go to user management, user phone add, universal line template. And on the line template, you can say, okay, maybe in my company, the users want to display their name, first name, last name, or maybe they want to display it last name, first name, or manager ID, or whatever. In my case, I say the line description for a new device should always be first name and then last name, and then the user ID. For the alerting name, it's first name, last name. It's your case. It's your turn. You can decide whatever you want. In my case, we like in Germany first name, last name, but you can do it like you want. Let me go to the LDAP directory. The next step, after you configured and deployed the feature group template, you have to decide how to configure the line. So when you don't use anything, when you don't hit this or this, there will be no automatically line deployment. So you have to choose this or this. In my case, I take the first option, apply mask to synced telephone numbers. In this case, my LDAP users are stored with a E164 number, and I would say, okay, the last three numbers from this E164 is my directory number, my internal number, my DN. And in this case, I say, okay, I have this wildcard XXX to configure my DN with the last three digits. And that's the case. I cannot say I want to configure it with my full E164 number. So there is no plus sign allowed. There is no backslash allowed. I can only configure it with the wildcard. And when I configure it with 15 or 16 access, it will not work. So the call manager will not deploy the line with the plus sign. It will always be the number without plus sign. So you have to say I have internal extensions, in this case 3-digit extensions, and through the universal line template, I will switch to the universal line template. You can say, okay, I will deploy an enterprise alternate number. In this case, the +493170432126, and then the XXX. So I will configure my normal 3-digit number as a E164 number. Also say, okay, this is reachable via the internal partition and it's urgent. So with this configuration, I will configure an E164 dial plan without having a E164 directory number on my directory number itself. So that's the LDAP configuration. That's all you need. Just stay safe and everything's fine. Next step to show you, I will deploy a new user in my organization unit. I would say new user. Say it's test user 2 with last name test, whatever, and it's with user ID test user 2. Next is the password, and my user is created. So now, when I say perform full sync now, I can. Okay, that's the next call manager 10 configuration. I cannot do something when there's a lot of tabs open in my browser, so I have to close my tabs. to my LDAP and say perform full sync now. And the sync is started. And there should be another test user right now. Okay. Can't work because maybe you saw it on my LDAP directory. I have a filter on my LDAP directory to only import users with phone numbers because I don't want users in my system who don't have a phone number in the LDAP directory. So I say, okay, +49 1, just a number in my 043 126. Let's say 488. Zero should be gone. Okay. Let's say apply. Go to the LDAP directory again. LDAP. Perform full sync now. And now my user should be there. Yeah, it's test user 2. Test user 2 has the self-provisioning ID 488 from the number 488 on the end. And also the primary extension 488 in partition internal. And also the control groups are configured in the LDAP directory. So now my user is configured, and I can switch on my new phone, go to the phone, that is configure auto registration, and just type in the number what I configured for the IVR service, and that's what I show you now. You need a number for the IVR service to call on. So in this case, you have to configure a CTI outbound. In my case, I called it SelfProv. You can call it however you want it. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you have to configure a number on it. In my case, my SelfProv number is the 999. And the next step is to configure an application user. It's also called SelfProv in my side. It's just a name. You can name it however you want it. Then you have to say, okay, the control device for this user is the CTI route point, and also the CTI enabled root group is important. Next step is to go to user management, self-provisioning, and on self-provisioning you have to configure the CTI route point. In this case, self-provisioning, and the application user, SelfProv. Also the language, maybe when you deploy your call manager in multiple countries, you can just configure the language you need for it. In my situation, I configured with no authentication required because I use it mainly for rollout scenarios, and for rollout scenarios, I prefer the no authentication required configuration. When you use it for your first level support to provisioning new phones for new employees, you can also use the required authentication method to give a higher security for it. Yeah, let's do it in real life. I have a phone configured. It's an auto-registered phone. It's a 7961 phone. And on this phone, I will dial the number 999. Dial.
To provision this device, enter your self-provisioning
and just have to enter the provisioning number. The provisioning number is the 488.
You have entered 488. Press the pound key to confirm, re-enter the identification. This device will now restart with a new extension.
And now my phone is configured with the new information. So with the information from the new employee, and I see it in the configuration as well. So there's the first name, last name. There's the number 488. The alerting name is correct, and also the enterprise alternate number is configured correctly. So when my phone is booting up, I can call my phone via 488, and also without having any translation pattern to translate between 3 digits and E164. I can call my phone in both ways, with this kind of number and also with the 3-digit extensions. In my opinion, it's a really nice feature. And if you like the video, please comment it, rate it, and yeah, hope to see you next.